Namaste, welcome, and aloha. Welcome to the verse titled Established in Goodness and Satisfaction, the State of Transcendental Peace. In the previous verse, we learned how firm devotion becomes established through regular service to the Bhagavatam and devotees. Now, this verse reveals what happens when that firm devotion is established. The mind becomes free from passion and ignorance and is established in pure goodness. This verse describes the state of consciousness when devotion is firm, when the heart is no longer disturbed by the symptoms of passion and ignorance, such as lust and greed. It becomes untainted. Established firmly in pure goodness, the consciousness then achieves complete tranquility and satisfaction. This is a teaching about the transcendental state of peace and satisfaction. Let us explore this profound verse. First, the verse in its original Sanskrit. Tada rajastamo bhavaha kamlobhadeshchiye chet eternāvidam stitam sattatve prasidati 19. These words reveal the state of purified consciousness. Let us understand what they teach. Now, let us go through the raw form of English translation of the verse. The translation: when the heart is no longer disturbed by the symptoms of passion and ignorance, such as lust and greed, it becomes untainted. Established firmly in the mode of pure goodness, the consciousness then achieves complete tranquility and satisfaction. This is a statement about the purified state of consciousness. Let us explore what this means. Now let us look at some core teaching of this verse. This verse describes the state of consciousness when firm devotion is established. First, the timing, tada, at that time, at what time, when firm devotion is established as described in the previous verse. Tada, then, at that time, when Naistiki Bhakti is established. Second, what disappears? Rajastamo Bhavas, the states of passion and ignorance. Rajah means the mode of passion. Tamaha means the mode of ignorance. Bhavaha means states, conditions, symptoms. The symptoms and states produced by passion and ignorance. Third, specific examples. Kama lobhadayash keyi. Kama means lust, desire. Lobha means greed, hankering. Adaya means another's, etc. Kayi means and whatever else they are. Lust, greed, and all other symptoms of passion and ignorance. Fourth, the state of mind. Sita iter annaviddam. Setahe means the mind, consciousness, heart. Etahe means by these. Anaviddam means not affected, untainted, unpierced. The mind becomes anaviddam, completely untainted by lust, greed, and other material symptoms. Fifth, where consciousness is established, status sattve. Stitam means established, fixed, situated. Sattva means in the mode of goodness. The consciousness becomes firmly established in sattva, the mode of goodness. Sixth, the result, prasidati. Prasidati means becomes fully satisfied, becomes peaceful, becomes clear, becomes pleased. When consciousness is established in pure goodness, it prasidati becomes completely satisfied and peaceful. The verse teaches when firm devotion is established, the symptoms of passion and ignorance, like lust and greed, disappear. The mind becomes untainted, established in pure goodness, and achieves complete satisfaction and peace. This is the natural result of firm devotion, purification, establishment in goodness, and deep satisfaction. Now let us look at some modern scientific parallels. This ancient teaching has profound parallels in modern psychology and neuroscience. First, consider research on mental clarity and cognitive function. Studies show that when the mind is disturbed by strong desires and cravings, cognitive function is impaired. When these disturbances are reduced, clarity and satisfaction increase. The verse teaches Seta iter anavidam, the mind untainted by lust and greed. Prasidati becomes clear and satisfied. Second, consider the concept of hedonic adaptation and set point theory of happiness. Research shows that pursuing material desires provides only temporary satisfaction, with people quickly returning to a baseline level of happiness. The verse teaches kama lobha, lust, and greed are symptoms of rajas and tamas. True satisfaction, prasidati, comes not from fulfilling desires but from transcending them. Third, consider research on mindfulness and equanimity. Studies show that practices that reduce reactivity to desires and aversions lead to greater well being and life satisfaction. The verse teaches anavidam, not affected by material symptoms. Sthitam sattve, established in goodness. This is a state of equanimity. Fourth, consider the concept of flow states and intrinsic motivation. Research shows that the deepest satisfaction comes not from external rewards, but from intrinsically motivated engagement. The verse teaches prasidati becomes fully satisfied. This satisfaction comes from being established in sattva, not from fulfilling material desires. Fifth, consider research on self transcendence and well being. Studies show that people who transcend self centered concerns and connect with something greater report higher levels of life satisfaction and meaning. The verse teaches when consciousness transcends rajas and tamas, the modes of self centered desire, and becomes established in sattva, it achieves prasidati, complete satisfaction. Let us now move on to some practical application as it relates to this verse. How do we apply this teaching in our daily lives? First, understand that satisfaction comes from purification, not from fulfillment of desires. The verse doesn't say, fulfill your desires and then you'll be satisfied. It says, when lust and greed disappear, kama lobha, then satisfaction comes prasidati. True satisfaction comes from transcending desires, not from fulfilling them. Second, recognize the symptoms of passion and ignorance in yourself. Rajastamobhava, the states of passion and ignorance. Kamalobha, lust and greed. Be aware when these arise in your mind. Recognize them as symptoms of rajas and tamas. Third, aim for establishment in goodness. Shtitam sattve, established in the mode of goodness. Cultivate sattva, simplicity, cleanliness, discipline, study, compassion, truthfulness. Fourth, understand that this state comes through firm devotion, tada at that time. At what time? When Naistiki Bhakti is established, as described in the previous verse. This purified state is not achieved through mere willpower, but through firm devotional service. Fifth, trust that satisfaction will come naturally. Prasidati becomes satisfied. This is not something you force. It happens naturally when consciousness is purified and established in goodness. Continue your devotional practice. Purification will come. Satisfaction will come. Now, let us look at how this verse can help our young people. For young people surrounded by messages that satisfaction comes from fulfilling desires, this verse offers a revolutionary teaching. Modern culture says, fulfill your desires and you'll be happy. Get what you want and you'll be satisfied. The verse teaches the opposite. Kamaloba, lust and greed are disturbances. When these disappear anavidam, then satisfaction comes prasidati. True satisfaction doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from transcending wanting itself. The verse teaches, Sthitam sattve prasidati, established in goodness, one becomes satisfied. Cultivate goodness, simplicity, discipline, study, service. This leads to real satisfaction. The verse teaches this state comes when firm devotion is established tada at that time. Make devotional service your foundation. Through firm devotion, your consciousness will naturally become purified and satisfied. Now, let us look at how this verse can help our older generation folks. For those with more life experience, this verse speaks to the deep satisfaction that comes from transcendence. You've likely experienced that fulfilling desires doesn't bring lasting satisfaction. Material achievements leave you wanting more. The verse teaches kama, lobha, lust, and greed don't lead to satisfaction. They are symptoms of rajas and tamas. True satisfaction, prasidati, comes when consciousness is free from these disturbances. The verse teaches seta iter anaviddham, the mind untainted by material desires. Sthitam sattve, established in goodness. This is what you're working toward. A consciousness that is clear, untainted, established in transcendence. The verse teaches this comes through firm devotion tada when Naistiki Bhakti is established. Continue your devotional practice. The satisfaction you seek comes not from the world but from within through purification and transcendence. In conclusion, we can say this verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam describes the state of consciousness when firm devotion is established. When the heart is no longer disturbed by passion and ignorance such as lust and greed, it becomes untainted. Established firmly in pure goodness, the consciousness achieves complete tranquility and satisfaction. True satisfaction doesn't come from fulfilling material desires, but from transcending them. When consciousness is purified and established in goodness, deep satisfaction naturally arises. Continue your devotional practice. Trust the process. Purification will come, establishment in goodness will come, and with it, complete satisfaction. Thank you for exploring this verse with me. Thank you, namaste, and mahalo for joining me in this exploration of this verse, established in goodness and satisfaction, the state of transcendental peace. Now we will move on to next verse.